Welcome everybody. My name is Stacy Pendarvis and I'm the Vice President of Programs at the Monique Burr Foundation for Children. And today our outreach manager, Beth Dujak, and myself will be presenting on prevention education requirements in Florida schools. We are recording this session so that it can stay on our website and other people can view it, but we would like to say thank you for those of you who are attending live today. We appreciate you being here with us, and we're going to go ahead and get started. The first question we always get asked, so we'll just start with that, is who was Monique Burr and why was the foundation named after her? So Monique was a child advocate that did a lot of work for abused and needy children. And in 1996, the foundation's founder, Ed Burr, and Monique were on their 10th wedding anniversary trip in California, and their vehicle was hit by a truck, and sadly Monique was killed instantly. And a year to the date of her death, Ed and a group of Monique's friends started the Monique Burr Foundation for Children in honor of her, and really just to continue her work and continue her legacy. And they had 2 young sons at the time and wanted the boys to grow up and know their mom. And so it was a great way to do that. And out of her tragic death, we have done amazing work in her name and her honor, and have reached a lot of children, as you'll learn in this presentation. And so we're just very proud to do work in Monique's name. We've done, the Monique Burr Foundation, as I said, has existed since 1997, and we've done a lot of different things over the years, but as of the last 11, 12 years, we focused exclusively on prevention education and have developed programs for schools and extracurricular programs, and you'll learn more about those during the webinar today. So let's get into prevention education requirements for schools and really what prompted this webinar. And going back several decades, in 2008, Florida passed the Jeffrey Johnston Stand Up for All Students Act that required bullying prevention in schools. And that was a response to a young man named Jeffrey Johnston, who sadly took his own life because he was being bullied and could not get any relief, couldn't get any action. And so it requires there's numerous pieces to that legislation, but one of those things is that it does require schools to do prevention around bullying. And then that act was amended in 2013 and requires cyberbullying prevention education. And the great thing about that is that the Florida legislature included, they wanted that prevention education for students, for staff, and for parents. So that was a really comprehensive law that was passed. And then in 2019, the Florida Department of Education passed 3 administrative rules that required certain topics be covered in all Florida schools. And those topics were mental and emotional health in grades 6 through 12, substance use and abuse health education in grades K through 12, and child trafficking prevention in grades K through 12 as well. And there was a requirement attached to the mental and emotional health component that must consist of 5 hours per year of instruction. Just this year, we were very happy to see the Florida legislature pass House Bill 519, which updated the Florida required health instruction statute. And that update now requires comprehensive age and developmentally appropriate health education in all schools on a variety of topics related to prevention. And so here is that actual statute. And as you can see in the image on the right, it says comprehensive age appropriate and developmentally appropriate K-12 health education that addresses concepts of community health, consumer health, environmental health, and family life, including mental and emotional health, injury prevention and safety, internet safety, nutrition, personal health, prevention and control of disease, substance use and abuse, prevention of child sexual abuse, exploitation, and human trafficking. And then it goes on to talk about in grades 7 through 12, also teen dating violence. And what's great about this is that in Florida, the Monique Burr Foundation for Children, as well as some other organizations, have been providing prevention education around sexual abuse, exploitation, and trafficking for years, but we didn't have a mandate. And so schools had the option of whether they would do that type of prevention with students or not. This law now requires that every school do prevention on those topics, and nationwide, a similar type of law, typically you'll hear it referred to as Aaron's Law, maybe Jenna's Law, but that law has passed in 37 states requiring child sexual abuse prevention in schools. So Florida now has a version of that where we do require child sexual abuse prevention as required by statute related to health instruction standards. So we were really excited about that. The Florida Department of Education does provide guidance on implementing these mandates. However, they're in different offices throughout DOE. So some are like bullying prevention is covered in the Office of Safe Schools. Child abuse prevention is in Family and Community Outreach. So you have to kind of look through some of the different resources at Florida DOE, but they do provide some guidance. They do not endorse any particular program, but they do list resources for schools, in particular resources that are provided at no cost and have some evidence to show that they are effective. So that's really good. But we thought we would share with you today also what some other states are doing. And Georgia is a really good example of a state that has implemented this in a way that really provides some specific and concrete guidance to schools. This wasn't necessarily done by the Department of Education. The Department of Education in Georgia does post this resource, but the Georgia legislature convened a task force to study child sexual abuse and exploitation and trafficking. And out of that multi-year task force, they developed what they called the Georgia Child Sexual Abuse and Exploitation Prevention Technical Assistance Resource Guide, or the TARG. And they reviewed and vetted dozens, possibly, 20, 30 different programs that exist on these topics and included the top programs in the TARG. So that provides some really concrete guidance to schools in Georgia, but that also doesn't mean that other states such as Florida schools, when you're looking for a program, can't use that resource. It is available on the Georgia Department of Education website and on the Georgia Center for Child Advocacy website. So it's just if you're looking for a program and you don't have the time to do the research and do the legwork to find a great program, there are resources out there, and MBF programs are listed as a top resource in the TARG. So, but we did want to talk about, outside of mandates, being proactive with prevention in your school and why that's important. We're a very reactive society in the United States, and we wait for something bad to happen and then we respond to that. And what we're saying is prevention needs to be proactive, and we need to do it for all students prior to their being victimized. Because if you look at this number, this is really a sad number. There are 76 million children in the US, and 46 million of them can be expected to be touched by some sort of violence during their childhood years. So really, when you think about those numbers and walking into a school classroom, how many kids sitting in that classroom, if they haven't already been victimized, will be before they reach the age of 18, it really just tells us that prevention should be a priority for everyone, whether it's a mandate or not. But for schools in particular, there are a lot of benefits to doing prevention education. When implemented consistently and widespread, research has shown that prevention education can lower dropout rates, it can improve attendance, it can improve the school environment, increase test scores and academic achievement, and increase grades and grade point averages. So all of those are really good benefits. And what we know for students to be true is when their health and safety and basic needs are met, they're more able to learn. So prevention really does support academic success and provides a good foundation for students to be successful in their academics. And so I am going to now turn it over to Beth Dujek, our Florida Outreach Manager, and she is going to tell you about our programs and how they're an easy solution to help you meet all of those mandates in a very easy, strategic way. So thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Stacy. So as Stacy mentioned, there have been a lot of new mandates, older mandates and requirements, but one program can help you meet all requirements for prevention in schools. And that program being MBF Prevention Education Programs, grades kindergarten through 12th grade. And they're provided to Florida public and charter schools at no cost. So child safety matters for kindergarten through 5th, the only comprehensive evidence-based programs in the country. And then MBF Teen Safety Matters for middle school and high school grade levels. And then currently we are piloting a pre-K program that will be available next school year for public and charter schools at no cost. Kindergarten through 8th grade is an individual grade level program. And then our high school curriculum is a blended grade level program in order to make that inclusive for blended scheduling purposes in high school, since that is common and there's multi-grade levels in high school classes. But all of the programs are based on polyvictimization. The research has been done indicating that when a child is victimized in one way, they're more likely to be victimized in another. And these are the children that are at risk in schools. So polyvictimization research is important because of the implications from this research that we need to focus on common risk factors and strategies to better protect youth. We don't need separate programs for abuse, bullying, drama, internet safety. We need to use one comprehensive program that teaches universal strategies and safety rules for kids to help the adults in their life keep them safe. So what we're able to offer through comprehensive programs is being able to cover many topics: general safety and prevention, all types of child abuse, who harms kids, how they do it, safe versus unsafe strangers, bullying, cyberbullying, digital abuse and safety, digital citizenship, exploitation and trafficking. This is done at a younger age through informing them of the grooming behaviors that they might see. And then relationship abuse and sexual assault beginning in middle school. And each of these topics is scaffolded so that they're presented to children in an age and developmentally appropriate way. The programs are based, the MBF prevention education programs are based on two components: the safety rules that I mentioned and safe adults. And that's how we're able to cover multiple topics in a much more brief way. Research says we should teach children rules about safety rather than to teach them to identify feelings, feelings, or yucky type touches. But once they learn the 5 safety rules, they can use these in any unsafe situation that they might come in contact with as they get older. We don't want to have to take a long time to explain what to do if they're being bullied or if they're being sexually abused or exploited online. They can always defer back to these safety rules. And you'll see the alignment between identifying safe adults in their life and the safety rules. And we use the term safe adults because we know that 90% of abuse happens by someone they know, love, and that they're supposed to trust. So when we teach them about identifying a safe adult in their life, they make that connection to the safety rules. And a safe adult would not ever ask a student to break one of these safety rules, or they themselves would not break a safety rule. They would be informed and knowledgeable on the topic as well. They're empowered to identify their own safe adults. We're not telling them who is safe or who might be safe in their life. We're encouraging them to identify somebody inside their home and outside their home, if at all possible. And then some of the things that they might have to talk to a safe adult about and what to do if a safe adult doesn't help you. And we remind them that the importance of identifying 2 safe adults, because they might have to tell again. And so they might have to rely on that second or possibly beyond that, another adult to provide them the assistance they need. Some of the benefits of the MBF programs can include the fact that they're versatile. They could be provided in like a homeschool co-op type setting, virtual, remote learning. They're inclusive to students, all students, and that could be English language learners, that could be students with disabilities. They're evidence-based and informed. They're easy to use, and they create a common language for children and adults. And that common language can extend to the communication at school and at home. And so that's just important for anybody to have that communication with their children. Also being aware that schools that are utilizing these programs can even implement, attach it to their professional development purposes, SMART goals, program planning. There's multiple benefits to schools as well. Some of the Florida reach in terms of our particular state, we have had more than 5,000 facilitators that have been trained, and this varies county to county who these different positions and educators are within schools. More than 5 million students have been reached since 2010. Schools in all 67 Florida counties are using MBF programs, even if that's a private school, but there is at least one school in each county utilizing the programs. Child advocacy centers across the state have also started to get involved with these initiatives and partner with their local school districts to deliver the lessons. And MBF certified facilitator trainings are now being scheduled at the graduate level, so that we are able to inform them before they are ever placed in schools, and they have additional tools in their tool belt when they come across unique situations. Other ways that you could possibly get involved, certainly informing yourself of online trainings. We offer 4 no-cost online trainings that can be utilized by anybody in the community as well as at your school. Parents, staff, these are perfect for informing them about helping to keep children safe. We'll have additional webinars in this series, so please continue to follow us on either on social media or even our website, and those topics are listed there at the bottom. And then if you aren't sure whether or not your schools are utilizing our programs, certainly get involved and ask some questions. If your school hasn't ordered materials this year, you can simply go to our website at www.mbfpreventioneducation.org and click on shop to order materials. And again, those are provided at no cost for Florida public and charter schools through an appropriation that we receive from the Florida Attorney General. If you'd like to receive additional information or learn more about us, you can certainly reach out to myself or Stacy to learn even more. You can get started with MBF at no cost by completing the facilitator information and agreement form. And then we would be in touch with you to talk about online training options and how to access the programs.
Thanks, Beth. Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat and we will answer those for you. But hopefully this brief webinar just kind of gave you some more information and informed you about what the requirements are for schools in Florida. So we do have a question. Beth, I'll let you answer this. As a school counselor, how can I educate parents?
There are multiple ways that you could educate parents at your school. Certainly, again, being proactive with educating them works through your PTA, there's school advisory council type meetings that are held by administration every month at schools in Florida. You could certainly get involved by attending those and asking some questions. But being in front of your parents at open houses, any nights that you might host at your school, whether they're virtual or in person for literacy nights, healthy schools nights, science nights, however you can kind of be there and be available to answer those questions that come up about the topic of prevention in schools.
Oh, there's another one, Beth. As a parent, what can I do?
As a parent, certainly attending some of the things that I just mentioned and asking those questions. As I said, there's a school advisory council type meeting that's hosted every month at your local school by administration, informing the community as to what's happening at the school, informing them of data, and just sharing out the progress of the school. And then certainly becoming educated. attending our future webinars, or educating yourself and by attending those 1-hour online courses that are provided at no cost to be informed.
Yeah, and I'll just note that our next webinar in this series is going to be parents as partners in prevention. So it really will talk a lot more about that topic. We also have on our website a complete webinar series that we did last summer called Let's Talk About Prevention that covers a lot of different topics, and it would be great for parents or educators or professionals, and those are all recorded and available to anyone on our website. So if you're a parent and you want to learn more, or even a school counselor and you want to help better educate parents, visit our website and look for a lot of additional resources, as Beth mentioned. Thank you. And thank you all for attending. We're very excited to provide this information. We wanted to keep it brief so it didn't take up a lot of time, but give you some good background information. And I'll put our contact information up again. Feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions or need any help, or visit our website for more information. So thank you so much. Have a great day.